Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
The biggest sale of the year is happening right now during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on every new Honda. That's right, you choose and make no payments for 90 days at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello and welcome as we start the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your little slice of South Louisiana heaven since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours. As we typically do, we start today's show with Louisiana news. It is something that was not unexpected. Former state senator Karen Carter Peterson finding out this week that she has been sentenced to 22 months in federal prison after admitting to stealing money from the Louisiana Democrat Party. Prosecutors say that Karen Carter Peterson took more than $140,000 from the party and her own campaign account and used it to gamble at casinos. She was sentenced yesterday, Wednesday, and ordered to report to federal court on March 6th, according to the Times-Picayune. You probably remember that in April, she announced she was resigning from the Louisiana legislature to take care of her mental health and work on her gambling addiction. Meanwhile, here in the capital city, Mayor Sharon Weston Broome announcing on a local radio show, actually a statewide radio show this week, that she plans to seek a third term as the chief executive officer of East Baton Rouge Parish, saying, quote, "As of January 10th, 2023, my response would be yes when asked if she plans to seek a third term." Mayor Broome saying public safety remains at the top of the list of her concerns. The election, obviously, not until November 6th of 2024, and I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of more news breaking regarding potential opposition or opponents, if you will, in the next mayoral race here in East Baton Rouge. In other news, it is arguably one of, if not the most disturbing stories to be unveiled here locally in 2023. Law enforcement announcing, this comes from the St. John Parish Sheriff's Office, a 1-year-old toddler is in critical condition after a suspected overdose this week. Law enforcement was called to a Laplace hospital after doctors were treating a 1-year-old toddler for a potential overdose. According to law enforcement, the child's mother told deputies that she left the toddler in the care of her boyfriend as she went to work. When she returned home, she found the boyfriend, 31-year-old Terrence Robinson, sitting in the family vehicle along with the baby, who was unresponsive. When the mother was unable to revive the child, they then took the toddler to the hospital for treatment. After finding this out, deputies then arrested Mr. Terrence, and after searching the home, he was booked on 2 counts of cruelty to juveniles, possession of marijuana, possession with intent to distribute Schedule 2, Schedule 3, and Schedule 4 drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of oxycodone, and illegal carrying of a weapon with controlled dangerous substances. Mothers, I cannot stress how important it is that you know who you leave your children with. Looking at the list of charges and the items found in the home, it's hard to believe that the mother had no idea what her boyfriend was engaged in. There's always that possibility. I will grant that. But at the end of the day, that is a defenseless child. And to leave that child in the custody of someone that apparently cared no more about the well-being of that child than to allow that child to come in close contact with these illegal substances boggles the mind. It is something that has been happening far too frequently. And of course, in this age of fentanyl and the literal invasion of that drug in America, and the scariness of the fact that it only takes a tiny amount, mothers, you gotta be aware of who you leave your children in the custody of. Listen, I get it. I know I'm old. I don't have a problem with that. But I grew up in an era where in the neighborhood, in the apartment complex, our parents knew every single child that we played with. But more important, our parents knew the parents of every single child we played with. And if the parents of the children we were playing with were unsavory individuals, we were not allowed to be around them. It's a different day, y'all, and you cannot, under any circumstances, be too careful. No word yet from law enforcement on whether or not the mother will face any charges in connection with this incident. Only time will tell. We obviously will stay abreast of the story, and any developments that occur in that regard, we will be sure to pass those along to you. We're going to get out of this first segment early because when we come back, we're going to need some time. I would, if I were to put a title to the upcoming segment, it would be either, well, looky here, or, and then there's this. That's next when we continue the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Hey, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The season of inspiration is the perfect time to discover the enhanced Mazda CX-5, named a 2022 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Award winner, its highest safety award honor. Choose from over 45 CX-5s available at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi gang, Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bugs Show. If you were with us heading into the prior commercial break, and more important if you were not, I mentioned that if I had to put a title on this segment, it would be one of two things. Either, well, looky here, or, and then there's this. By now, unless you are either living off planet or you are one of those that still worships at the altar of the mainstream media, you know that there is yet another crisis plaguing President Joe Biden and his administration. Earlier this week, it was revealed that a batch of top secret documents were found at the Penn Biden Institute. These documents were uncovered by his attorneys and allegedly immediately turned over to the Department of Justice. Ironically, the documents were discovered And the president claims he had no idea that those documents were there. So giving him the benefit of the doubt in this regard, based on what we have seen regarding Joe Biden's mental acumen, I guess that could be legitimate. He had no idea that the documents were there or where they came from or what they dealt with. Considering the fact that if you were to ask him, Joe Biden today might not remember what he had for breakfast this morning. So there's a possibility that it's legitimate when he says, I had no idea they were there. But then there's this. A couple days later, after finding out, whoops-a-daisy, we've got top secret documents in an office that he once used at the Penn Biden Center. We now find out another batch of documents labeled top secret were found in his garage next to his Corvette. Now, the president has told us nothing to worry about here because the garage is locked. This second batch of top secret classified documents would lead a reasonably intelligent person to wonder how many more documents and how many more other locations of said documents are there. Keep in mind here, y'all, this first batch of documents that was found at the Penn Biden Center, the Penn Biden Center didn't open until a year after he left the vice presidency. Well, why is that important, Clarence? Well, I'm glad you asked. This means that the documents that he was not entitled to have were moved from the White House to someplace else. Because again, where they were found, that office didn't open until a year after he left the vice presidency. So the documents were taken, moved someplace, and then moved again to the Penn Biden Center. And now we find there's another batch. And then there's this. The documents were discovered a week before the most recent midterm elections. How is it and why is it that we're only finding out about these documents 2 months after they were discovered? Two months after they were discovered, we find out about them. Meanwhile, after we find out about the first batch, we find out there's another batch. And this from, quote, the most transparent administration in history. Then there's this. The only person allowed by law to take classified documents home is the president, not a vice president. Federal law mandates when any federal government employee leaves office, they are required by law to turn in any sensitive documents. It's a felony to not abide by that. So Joe Biden, when he took these documents, committed a felony. Not once, but as far as we know, twice, and maybe more. We still don't know how many other documents in how many other locations are out there. And then there's this. When the FBI raided the home of former President Donald Trump because of classified documents, Joe Biden, in an interview with CBS, was asked what he thought about the discovery of these classified documents. I'll paraphrase. I can't understand how anybody could be that irresponsible. Excuse me? So, does this mean that Joe Biden is twice as irresponsible as Donald Trump? Well, it might be 3, 4, 5 times more irresponsible. We don't know yet how many other documents and how many other locations there are. Is this what you voted for? Now, the sad part about all of this, y'all, is we tried to tell you. Donald Trump was adamant when he told the American people, if you vote for this guy, the economy is going to be in the toilet. He told you this. If you vote for this guy, the economy is going to the toilet. He told you, if you vote for this guy, immigration, illegal immigration, is going to go through the roof. He told you. And just like he told you the economy was going to tank if you elected this guy, it happened. Donald Trump told y'all, if you elect this guy, you can expect crime to go through the roof. And what happened? Crime now through the roof. We told y'all over and over and over again. And did you listen? Nah. Allegedly, 81 million of y'all, despite being told over and over and over again what would happen, you still voted for it. Now, as an American, you have that right. I told you, I've never physically seen it, but I'm sure, after watching our society, I'm sure it is buried somewhere in the bowels of the Constitution. And it says, you're an American. you got a right to be a moron. It's got to be in there somewhere. I just haven't been able to find it yet. You were told over and over again, if you fell for this, number one, you owe your fellow Americans a sincere apology. In 2 years, y'all, we have gone from the greatest republic on the face of this planet to the laughing stock of the planet. In 2 years. Secondly, if you voted for this clown, hopefully the next time you get the opportunity to vote for a president, you will remember how the media and that party hoodwinked, snookered, and bamboozled you into voting for what we have now. Hopefully, the next time you have the opportunity to vote for president, you will take with less than a grain of salt what they tell you on ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN LOL, and MSLSD. Hopefully, the next time, you will be a much wiser individual. But at least in the meantime, we don't have to put up with mean tweets. And this, my friends, is what we have come to. When we come back, I want to talk about what it should say to us about what is allegedly contained in some of these documents and what countries they are related to. That's next, when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You could be driving a... Now's the time to save on new Accords during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana. Get our lowest prices and biggest savings on our largest selection of Accords this year. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana, I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis. not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Caught spiders?
Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. When we spent the last segment talking about the revelations surrounding the top secret documents found in various locations directly tied to now President and then Vice President Joe Biden, and why we should be concerned about this. Media reports say that these top secret classified documents involve Ukraine, China, and Iran. Enter Hunter Biden, the most intelligent man Joe Biden says he's ever met. Remember when Hunter Biden accompanied his father to Ukraine, and shortly thereafter, Hunter Biden was given a job earning $83,000 a month with a Ukrainian energy company. Joe Biden made no bones about the fact that he has never spoken with his son about any of his business dealings. So I would have to imagine the conversation had to go something like this. Hey, Pop, got good news for you. Got a new job. Oh, really, son? Yep, pays $83,000 a month. Wow. Really? What are you going to be doing? I'm working with an energy company. Okay. Son, you don't have any experience at all working in the energy sector. How is it you got a job paying $83,000 a month with no experience in the energy sector from an energy company? Oh, Dad, don't worry about it. Okay, Jill, what's for dinner? Meanwhile, from the guy who says, I've never spoken with my son about any of his business dealings. Hunter Biden gets on Air Force Two, accompanying his father to go and visit China. So since he's never spoken with his son about any of his business dealings, I would imagine on the flight over to China, the conversation had to be something like this. So, son, what are you going to do in China while I'm conducting meetings with Chinese officials? Well, Dad, I guess I'll go and tour the Great Wall. Oh, yeah, that's a big tourist attraction. What else you going to do? Well, I heard that there's this little small restaurant tucked away that has the best Kung Pao chicken on the planet. Well, yeah, that's a good idea. While you're here, you got to sample the local cuisine. So after Joe conducted his meetings with Chinese officials, I would imagine the conversation on Air Force Two on the way back went something like this. How was the trip to the Great Wall, Hunter? Oh, Dad, it was great. An engineering marvel that stands after thousands of years. And what about the Kung Pao chicken? How was that? Oh, Dad, you wouldn't believe it. I'm so glad you came along with me. Meanwhile, 10 days after the trip was over, the company that Hunter Biden was in charge of landed a $1 billion contract that was later upgraded to $1.5 billion with a banking company that is a subsidiary of, wait for it, the Chinese government. 10 days after the trip to China, Hunter Biden's company signs a $1.5 billion contract with a subsidiary of the Chinese government. Now, the president, then vice president, again claims, I have never spoken with my son about any of his business dealings. Let me ask you something. How many people in your family, how many people in your city, how many people in the history of mankind would have a child whose company landed a $1.5 billion contract and wouldn't tell you? Wouldn't tell your mama, wouldn't tell your daddy. If that were me, parents, if you have children in the room, grab the remote right now and hit the mute button. I'll give you a second. If that were my child, I'd whip his ass. Pure and simple. I'd whip his ass. All right, parents, you can unmute it now. 10 days after returning from China in the company of his then vice president father, Hunter Biden's company lands a $1.5 billion contract and never told his daddy, according to Joe Biden, because he has never discussed any of his son's business dealings with him. And now we find out that these documents, the extent of which we still don't know how many more may be out there in God knows how many other places, are directly linked to Iran, China, and wink, wink, Ukraine. Something is not just rotten in Denmark. Marty, what's worse than rotten? Anything you can think of worse than rotten? Something is putrid in Denmark. Now, if you voted for this clown, despite all the warning signs, despite all of the warnings, if it were just you that were affected by this ignorant, horrible decision you made, that would be one thing. But this is the entire freaking country we're talking about. This is arguably the greatest experiment in self-governance in the history of the human species. And in 2 years, it's in the gutter. Is this what you voted for? 81 million of y'all? It might be funny if it weren't so tragically sad. Final break of today's show. When we come back, an interesting development regarding COVID-19 vaccinations. That's next when we come back and wrap up the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, right where you've got it, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. It is yet another case of how politics makes for strange bedfellows. I will be the first to admit that admitted socialist Bernie Sanders and yours truly don't agree on much of anything. Y'all know your buddy Clarence. Me and socialism? Good luck trying to connect those two. But Bernie Sanders alerted us to something this week that, believe it or not, I agree with. Uh-oh. Marty just said, what they do. It was announced this week that COVID-19 vaccine maker Moderna, next year, or at the end of this year, they are going to quadruple the cost of COVID-19 shots. You notice I didn't call it a vaccine, because it's not a vaccine, it's a shot. The price will go from $26 a shot now to $130 a pop. Now, this is after last year, Moderna made $18.4 billion off COVID shots. $18.4 billion. They are expected this year to make $5 billion just on COVID shots. Now, I will never ever claim to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier. But what this says to me is that with more and more and more and more and more Americans saying, thanks, but no thanks, I don't want that shot, they see their profits dwindling. So after making $18.4 billion last year, expected to make $5 billion this year, they got to keep making billions of dollars from someplace. From $26 a shot to $130 a shot. Oh, and did I mention the shots were developed with $2 billion of your dollars. That's right. Operation Warp Speed, developing the vaccines, $2 billion of your money is how they developed it. So let me get this straight. You took $2 billion of my dollars to develop it. You made $18.4 billion in profits last year. You're expected to make $5 billion more this year. And next year you're going to quadruple the price. Man, sounds like a good idea to me. Must be a great job if you can get it. Your tax dollars hard at work. Bernie Sanders calls this corporate greed. And for once in my life, I got to agree with Bernie Sanders. Go figure. Politics truly does make for strange bedfellows. Meanwhile, the died suddenly phenomenon continues. This whole COVID shot thing has led society, in an effort to explain all this, to come up with new jargon. There's now excess mortality. This is what they call it. There's died suddenly because of all the people just dropping dead. Around the world over the last 70, 80 years, everybody knew in every country pretty much how many people were going to die. We expect this many to die from car accidents, this many to die from heart attacks, heart disease, this many to die from cancer, this many to die from accidents. And the numbers, with a few ticks up or down one way or the other, have been spot on. Then something really strange happened. As soon as people started getting the COVID-19 shot, excess mortality kicked in. In Britain, mortality rates always where they're supposed to be. Since Britain started putting this stuff in the arms of their citizens, the excess mortality, those above what normally die, has expanded by over 1,000 a week. You figure it out. Young, middle-aged, totally healthy, just drop dead. Like 21-year-old Hunter Brown this week. Hunter Brown, football player for the Air Force Academy, the Fighting Falcons, on his way to class this week, walking across campus, dropped dead. In the Bahamas, a 16-year-old girl playing basketball at a park in her neighborhood, dropped dead. Listen, y'all, I get it. They scared the bejesus out of you. How many times have I told you the easiest way to get people to give up their rights is to scare the bejesus out of them? And the most efficient way to do it is to use something that you cannot touch, taste, see, or smell. If you can't touch it, you can't see it, you can't taste it, you can't smell it, then you can convince people, oh, it's everywhere. And if you don't do what we say you should do, it's going to get you. And look where we are now. Now, as a sidebar, it's the new year. And a lot of you, as part of your annual ritual, the New Year's resolution, have decided, you know what, I'm going to get in shape this year. I'm going to start exercising. I love y'all more than I can ever say, which is why I'm going to tell you what I'm about to tell you. If your New Year's resolution is to be healthier, and it includes exercise, go get your heart checked first. One of the most pronounced effects of taking that COVID shot is what is medically termed myocarditis. That is an inflammation of your heart. What happens is, when your heart is inflamed and you have the COVID jab, the adrenal gland, for those of y'all that paid attention in biology class, you know the adrenal gland is responsible for the pumping of adrenaline into your system. When your heart is enlarged, it cannot handle an adrenaline dump. You start exercising, your heart is inflamed. It can't handle it. It literally explodes. I want you to be healthier. I applaud the idea that you have made the commitment to be healthier this year. But for God's sake, y'all, if you took that shot, don't start doing that until your physician checks your heart. I get no pleasure in telling people about this ever expanding list of totally healthy people just dropping dead, clear out of the blue. None of us get any pleasure from this happening. So I tell you this so that you can take the necessary steps to protect yourself. Until you can get your heart checked, adjust your dietary habits. Eat healthier and eat less. The pounds will start to shed, and you'll have the assurance that at least I won't hasten my own demise. I love y'all. I want you to be around as long as humanly possible. So for God's sake, y'all, if you took that shot, go get your heart checked. Please. I beg you. Your family wants you. And I need you around to watch the Clarence Buggs Show. Just thought I'd slip that one in there. Just saying. 10655 Coursey Boulevard is where you can find us every Tuesday and Thursday for the live taping of the show. Come on by. We'd love to see you. A couple of dear friends this week came by. Man, can I take a picture with you up on the set? Of course you can. This is what, you're the reason I do what I do. Come on by. I would love to see you. Now that being said, I'm going to beat Marty to the punch today. My time's up, and I got to go. But you already know the drill, don't you? Of course you do. This day, maybe more so than any other day in history, I give it to you. You are exactly right. America, we ain't perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you know he loves you, and you know I do too. And ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon. God bless.